Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is October 9th, and this is your aftermarket update. All right, we had another good day here at the Oil Trading Group. We finished up in the positive. It was a bit of a struggle here today. You can take a look up here at the price ladder to the far left. We traded here on the CL today. No trades on the ES. And we had a battle on our hands today. So I'm going to show you a trade of the day here that net positive 68 ticks, and you can see that I'm only up 18 ticks. That means that I was down 50 ticks heading into this trade today. So when we talk about cut the losers short, let the winners run, we discussed this concept in here quite a bit, and today was another good example of why that's important. It doesn't always mean that you're going to win every trade, but it does mean that when you do have a couple of trades that don't work out the way that you hoped, you have the ability to recover with a single good trade, and that's exactly what we did in here today. We had one single good trade that ended up recovering all of the problems that I had leading into that trade. Let's talk about the trade that I got into and why I got into that trade. First thing we're going to do here, we're going to take let's do this. Let's take a look at the profile here. So when we opened up this morning, and it might be easier to see it on this, when we opened here this morning, the market opened, if you come back here to the A period, let me squeeze this back in. This is the RTH session, and we'll come back into here, right? And you can see here that the open of the A period was right here at 84. We went one tick up after the open, and then we came down. Market opens and kind of rotates back and forth here inside of, we had a inside of the value area from the previous session, which was yesterday, right? And so market opens up, comes up to 84, and then begins this process. Why is that important? Well, we had a couple of things that we were looking at here this morning right at the open. So if you just pull this back just a little bit, this is the bar right before the open here today. We had one of our overnight levels up here at 75.04. We got to the high at 75.02. Our expectation level, since we could not take out that level, and we did find a little bit of resistance there, we were making these lower highs. Our expectation level, just looking at it from that perspective, is that we should be making a move down to at least this 44 and maybe down in here into the open price. When you take a look at the way the overnight session laid out, one of the things that you'll notice here, and it's a little bit harder to see on this because we had the profile filled in, but when we were at the open here today, remember we opened up around 74.84 right up here at the top, right? 74.84 right here is where we ended up opening the day. And one of the things that we talked about is that when the vast majority of the overnight price action in trading is above settlement, which was down here at 74.29, there is an expectation level that the market will travel back into settlement. Also, when you look at the previous session high, it was here at 34. So remember, we opened up here at 74.84. That was 50 ticks above the previous high from the previous session, right there at 34. And so there was a large gap there that we were looking to be filled. So we had a couple of things that we were looking at here this morning. One, a big chunk of the volume in the overnight session was trading above the settlement area, which means that we are looking for the price action to at least attempt to come down and trade into settlement. We also had the overnight level, which failed to get hit and was rejected out, making a series of lower highs. Also, and this is still the same way here today, the point of control, actually this is 78. The point of control when we were looking at this at the on the trade this morning was down here around 68. So we had a point of control down here at 68. All of these factors together gave me the idea that we were going to be looking to get short initially this morning. And so the market opens up. Right here, 84 is the 93 is your daily structure signal, and I'm going to draw this point of control on here with a horizontal line. So that point of control was around 68 right there, and you can see how much price action rotated around that 68 level in the overnight session. And so one of the things that I drew on the chart here today is we said that we wanted the market to come down. All right, we said we wanted the market to come down into here, push back up here, and then again, you'd be looking to come down into that settlement area, which was about 29, right? The settlement is at 29. So that was one of the ideas that we were looking for here today. We also said that if the market were going to break down through, then we would be looking for the price to come all the way as deep as 82. So when you see me get into this trade here today, we'll talk about that number here in just a few minutes. But this is the expectation level of what we were trying to do. So we jumped on board a short, market rallies up. We get back on short again, comes down to the structure mid, get taken out at break even. And then the market, there's just a series of those kinds of ideas today. But because we were underneath our structure signal, one of our market maker levels, right? And the market was making this series of lower highs off of that overnight market maker level, right? We were having this kind of idea. We were still looking to reach out into settlement. We had a large gap that we were looking to close, and so we were fairly convinced we were going to make it down into these levels here today. The market really was, though, pretty choppy. Eventually, it does come down here, as you can see, into settlement. We do come down a little bit deeper, all the way down to the 0-0 before the market begins to rally back up. But it was in this chop, right, that we ended up taking some break-evens and some stops along the way. And so that happens sometimes. You can have the right idea in the market like we did today, but it doesn't always mean that it's going to move in the time frame that you are expecting it to move, right? It doesn't always do that. So one of the things then that we talked about, we got a really nice trade. And I'll show you that trade of the day here. It was 68 ticks. We end up getting in short here off this structure mid. And the market's right, it comes down one more time, pulls back into this point of control. We couldn't get through it, and we ended up taking this structure mid short all the way down. I think I end up getting trail stopped back up when it pushes down right just ahead of settlement. And then the market, though, does something that's pretty interesting. It then takes a very long rally out off of that 0-0 level. So one of the things that I left the group with here this morning when we stopped trading is we said that we would expect the market to then, and if you were in the room, you'll recall me saying this, market to come up through the structure mid, back to the structure signal, pull back here, and then you'd be looking to take it and carry it all the way up to roughly this structure target up here. That was the thing that we were looking for it to do. All right, so that was going to be the next kind of way that we thought the market would play out today. Of course, the market comes up, comes all the way, goes up a little higher than we expected, then comes all the way down, checks that 68, and then the market goes all the way up into that structure target and misses it by a couple of ticks. We didn't take that trade. One of the things that we were talking about is that felt like we were in pretty good shape, having taken a couple of small losing trades and getting a few break-even trades, and felt really good about the fact that we were able to come out of the day ahead. And so the purpose of this video today is to really show you that not only does holding on for larger targets, right, in this case it was a 2-to-1 risk reward, allow you to make good ticks when it is when all things are great, like we've had a really nice week and a half here, right? But it also allows you to get out of trouble when you have a day that is not going in the exact way that you had hoped, right? So what you'll see here when I show you this video is there's going to be an arrow that shows you that we were down 50 ticks going into this trade. We end up catching this trade for 68 ticks, and it takes me out of the hole and puts me into the green for the day. So again, the purpose of this video is to show you the power of being able to hold on for your larger targets, being able to analyze the market. Also, just kind of being persistent when you think you have the right idea, and sometimes the market shakes you out, not being scared when the opportunity presents itself to be able to jump back on board and take advantage of the opportunity when it comes around again. So I'm going to do like I always do here. I'm going to break down the video. I'll let you see where we get in. I'll let you listen to how we get in. You'll see where the stop is being placed. Then we'll cut the trade down into a few pieces, put some music behind it, speed it up so you can get a good feel for how the trade went, and then you'll see where it is that we ultimately exited on the day. So again, one thing I want you to pay attention to is the top left-hand corner of the screen. You're going to see that we are down ticks heading into this trade of the day, and then you'll see how this single trade erased all of the losing and break even that we had done in the previous part of the session and really get us into where we were positive today. So without further ado, here is that OTG trade of the day. CL right here at 56. 56 short, target still into the 29. And the stop here is 72, 71, 72.